What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another LEGO YouTube video. Today I thought, since we've made so many new additions to the Star Wars collection, I thought it would be a fun idea to kind of go over everything new that I've added to my Star Wars collection as of recently, and also just kind of take a more in-depth look at how the collection looks in its current state. And we're going to be joined by Ruby, who's just chilling on the Star Wars rug, but I figured the first part of the LEGO Star Wars collection that I'd take a look at is probably the part that has changed the most since like recent Star Wars collection tours, and that's kind of like my big UCS area. And of course, the big new addition to this is the UCS AT-AT, which I've shown off plenty in some of my previous videos, but I'm just really proud of the placement that I've got here, and I really love showing it off. I think it really pairs nicely with everything else. We've got Ruby even admiring it over here too, which I thought was kind of funny. But like on the bottom part of it, we've got like several of the side builds from the AT-AT, and as well as some of like the other Hoth sets. We've got the Hoth Wampa Cave, as well as the Snowtrooper Battle Pack and the Millennium Falcon diorama, and then right above it we are able to see the display plaque for the UCS AT-AT, and then we can see the Hoth AT-ST sitting behind it, which I thought looked pretty cool. And then we've got some more Hoth minifigures on the bottom of the AT-AT, as well as the Snowspeeder from the Hoth Wampa Cave, and then here is the huge set itself, the AT-AT, which I think looks really impressive. So very, very happy with this display. And then right above it we rearranged some stuff over here. We've got the LEGO Star Wars UCS Millennium Falcon with the minifigures and display plaque below it, also accompanied by the microfighter. And then here is, of course, the biggest LEGO Star Wars set herself, the Millennium Falcon right here, which I think looks really impressive and still remains my favorite LEGO Star Wars set to this day. And I feel like it's really just the big centerpiece to this like massive bookshelf of LEGO Star Wars UCS sets. And then we've also got another smaller table right next to it, which of course houses the UCS Razor Crest, which is a set I didn't really think I would ever own, but I'm very happy that I do, and it has easily become one of my favorite LEGO Star Wars sets. I love all of the detail that we see in here with the brick built details. There's plenty of stickered details as well, and we can see the display plaque over here with the minifigures that are included. So really nice that this all fits on top of here, so I was really happy with how that turned out. And then of course below it we've got some other Mandalorian themed sets. We've got the UCS buildable Grogu from, I think it was 2021, so quite a while back when that released, but it literally feels like yesterday, so that's kind of crazy. But it's got the cool stickered display plaque, and then we've also got the Armor's Mandalorian Forge, as well as that other Mandalorian set from season 3 in the very back. And then below this we've got Boba Fett's throne room, as well as the microfighter, and then we've got the Kylo Ren and Sith Trooper brickheads, and I think that completes this little table really nicely. I'm very happy with all of the Mandalorian themed sets on it. I think everything kind of blends in together really well, and I'm really happy with all of the I guess like the big three of my LEGO Star Wars UCS sets all over here. And then also by this we have a smaller Star Wars display, which is my 25th and my 20th anniversary display stands, and then we've also got the Kylo Ren microfighter in the background. And then here's where I keep a vast majority of my LEGO Star Wars minifigures inside of the shadow boxes for Michaels. The first one we're looking at is the prequel based one. There's some Clone Wars minifigures in here, but it's mostly minifigures based off of the first 3 movies in the Star Wars saga, chronologically at least, so tons of cool characters inside of here. And then right next to it we've got my more Clone Wars based one with tons of the clone troopers from the Bad Batch and all 7 seasons of Star Wars The Clone Wars. We've got several side characters as well, and then the very bottom row is dedicated to some characters from Star Wars Rebels. I'm really excited to add Grand Admiral Thrawn to the display with the new Ahsoka sets coming out in August. And then the final display box is my original trilogy shadow box, which has tons of characters from the original trilogy. The top 2 layers are kind of dedicated to the dark side area, and then the bottom half is more Rebel based, and we've got tons of cool characters inside of here. So I'm really happy with how that turned out. And of course, like you all have probably seen in previous collection tours, they do light up, and I feel like I don't really admire them under the LED lights as much as I should, but they look really impressive, and I feel like the lights really just bring out a lot of the details with the minifigures inside of here. So very happy with this part of my collection. I feel like I don't show it off as much, even though it's one of the most valuable parts of the Star Wars collection. And then right above it we've got the custom Bo-Katan LEGO art set, which is using pieces from the Batman art. And then we've also got the Empire Strikes Back poster over here. And then of course we have my other 3 Star Wars art portraits with Boba Fett, who also uses pieces from the Batman art. And then we've also got Darth Vader and the 332nd Trooper. And then this kind of transitions us into our 2 big LEGO Star Wars bookshelf sets. And the bookshelves house a ton of LEGO Star Wars sets. The newest of the additions are at the very bottom here with the brickheads. I've had a couple of these for a while, but the new additions include the Phantom Menace brickheads as well as the Commander Cody brickheads. So really happy with this completed display. I think it looks really nice in the LEGO collection, so very happy with that. And then right above it, we've got kind of like a miscellaneous display over here. I'm really excited to fit the Sith Infiltrator into here when it comes in, which will probably not be for a while because the set was so popular. But right above it, we've got more of a dark side display, and I'm really happy with this shelf as well. We've got the new May 4th promotion all the way over there with the 25th anniversary plaque. We've got Cad Bane's Justifier, and then we've also got the Droid Tri-Fighter, Grievous's Starfighter, and the Bounty Hunter gunship, which I thought looked really cool. And then right above this shelf, I've got kind of my Season 7 of Clone Wars display. We've got the Duel on Mandalore, as well as the 332nd Troopers, the 501st, and then we've also got the Mandalorian Starfighter and the Bad Batch Attack Shuttle. So I've got a lot of nostalgia for this shelf. I think it looks really cool. And then right above it, we've got more of a Revenge of the Sith themed display with the this is not the AT-AT, this is the Clone Turbo Tank, and this is the 2016 rendition of it. And then we've also got the 2022 ATTE right next to it, which I thought looked pretty cool. And then right above it, we've got some more Clone Wars based sets. We've got the original 501st Battle Pack from 2020, as well as Anakin's Jedi Interceptor, the Coruscant Guard gunship, Yoda's Starfighter, as well as Obi-Wan's, and then we also have the Republic, I think it's the Republic Fighter Tank. There we go. Sorry, brain fart there. But tons of really cool sets in this display. I'm really happy with how everything turned out. The biggest change was probably with the brickheads. And then right next to this, we've got, this is where a lot of the change kind of is able to be seen from the previous collection tours. We've got my new Hoth shelf, which is kind of a continuation of everything we saw earlier with the UCS AT-AT. I really like how the probe droid fits in here, and I think it looks great with the 40th anniversary AT-AT. And what I'm really proud of with this shelf is how it kind of like seamlessly blends in with all of my other LEGO Star Wars Hoth stuff, so I like having all of that stuff kind of together, so I was really happy with that placement. At first it wasn't really that good, but then I switched it up in a previous video and I was really happy with it. And then right above it, we've got my Death Star display. I don't have the big Death Star playset, so this is all I've got so far, which is still kind of cool. I've got the little gift with purchase from last year, and then we've also got the Trash Compactor diorama and then the Trench Run diorama, so two very cool sets. Then my favorite out of the two is definitely the Trash Compactor, but I think the three of these sets kind of make for a really cool Death Star display. And then right above it, we've got some more dioramas. We've got my favorite out of the dioramas, the Empire Strikes Back Dagobah Jedi Training, and then right next to it we've got the Obi-Wan Kenobi duel, which I thought looks pretty cool next to it, so I never really thought to put these sets together, but surprisingly they look really well together. I feel like this isn't the ideal display, but it definitely does look really cool. And then right above it, I've got more of a Tatooine display. We've got the Lars Family Homestead all the way in the corner, which was from, I think, 2 years back, and then we've also, of course, got the Jabba's Palace from 2012, which is one of my most favorite LEGO Star Wars sets in the collection. And then we've got Trouble on Tatooine all the way in the outskirts over here, so I feel like I could definitely fit more on this shelf, but for now I'm really happy with it. And then right above this shelf we have a continued kind of Tatooine display. Over here we've got Jabba's sail barge all the way to the left here, which was kind of like my May 4th purchase from last year that I got like a couple weeks before May 4th. I guess it was like the pre-game to the May 4th haul. But we've also got the Desert Skiff Escape and then the 20th anniversary Slave 1 over here. So really cool Return of the Jedi themed shelf. I'm very happy with it, and I think it's probably one of my favorites. I love kind of the story I was able to tell and kind of like replicate that like iconic scene from Return of the Jedi. And then right above it, we've got this really cool kind of like Imperial based shelf. We've got the Moff Gideon's Light Cruiser as well as the Dark Trooper Attack. I think this looks really cool next to the Imperial Light Cruiser. We've kind of got like the interior, and then we also have like the Light Cruiser right next to it, which I thought was a nice little display feature. And then we've got the minifigures on the Light Cruiser right below it. Hard to believe that set came out 3 years ago. And then we've also got the Boarding the Tantive 4 diorama, which came out, I think it was last March. So really cool shelf over there. And so that kind of finishes everything on the lower levels. And on the top, we've got some of my UCS sets and a bunch of other cool prequel based sets too. So the first of which that we will look at is the UCS gunship, which is now retired, and probably one of my favorite UCS sets. I don't really admire it as much as I should, but below we've got like some clone troopers and some speeders, and then we've also, of course, got the UCS Republic gunship plaque over here that I've slightly modified so that I could kind of like better fit it in my collection. We've got the minifigures displayed next to it too, and then we've also got the new Invisible Hand from March of this year with the 25th anniversary plaque. And then I found this planet of Coruscant that I had from way back in the day, back in 2013, so decided to put that with this. And we've also got the display plaque for the UCS Venator, and we've got a bunch of minifigures displayed around it too, as well as the ones that did come with the Venator. And then there's some Clone Wars ones kind of hidden in the background over here. And then of course we have the UCS Venator. This is not the best place for it. I feel like it's kind of hidden in the collection, so not 100% happy with it, but I think it's just such an impressive looking set, and it's really, really nice next to the UCS gunship, so I was really proud of that display choice, and I was able to fit a lot inside of that kind of like small display space, so I'm really happy with how everything over here turned out. I think we've got a lot of really good LEGO Star Wars sets displayed over here, and then another area of the LEGO collection that's kind of changed a bit is my Tatooine display. This is like the main Tatooine display, and what we added to it, we've got the Mandalorian speeder kind of hanging out in the outskirts over here, but like the big addition is the new Mos Espa pod race diorama. I didn't really think I would buy this set, but I'm happy I did. This was kind of my impulse buy for May the 4th, since my May the 4th LEGO haul didn't come in time and I wanted to build a Star Wars set, and I think it fits in really nicely. I like the terrain with it, and right next to it we of course have the Mos Eisley Cantina, which I think looks pretty cool. We've got kind of the outskirts over here of some of the speeders, and we've also got Luke Skywalker's land speeder, which we got around this time last year. I think it was like last July that I decided to add that to the collection, and then we've also got like the main section of the cantina over here, and then we've got the dewback all the way over there. So really cool display. I'm very, very happy with it. I think I would not really change anything with it. It's the perfect set to put on my radiator because I feel like it doesn't really get too much sun damage. And then like right above it, we've of course got my LEGO Star Wars helmets, which I think look really cool. I do have the entire set, and I'm really disappointed that they discontinued this line, but I guess that's for the better because I ran out of space. But we've got all of the helmets over here. I feel like my favorites out of this are definitely the Darth Vader helmet. I really like the Rex helmet, and then also I think the Boba Fett helmet, which was the first one I got, is one of my favorites, and then also the TIE Fighter helmet, which is probably the most expensive out of every single one here, and it's the most sought after, and I feel like it's just absurd how expensive it is now, but I just love the look of all the helmets displayed up here together. I think it's one of my favorite parts of the Star Wars collection. Looks really cool above the window, and then this kind of transitions us into this section of the Star Wars collection, which hasn't really changed too much, but it's still part of the collection, so let's go ahead and show it off. We've got the Tantive 4 over here from 2019, and then right above it we have the 2021 version of Luke Skywalker's X-Wing, and then we've got the brand new Ghost and Phantom 2 next to it. This is kind of our big Rebel fleet, if you will, and then we've got, I think it's the 2012 version of the Y-Wing, which is displayed right next to Yavin 4, which I think is a little bit of an overhated LEGO Star Wars set, and then we've got some more sets from the Ahsoka wave over here, and then it kind of transitions us into our dark side display with Vader's castle and a bunch of the Imperial fleet. And what I really like about this display is we've got like the Vader and Boba Fett portraits below this, and then like right above it we've got Vader's castle and like all of the Imperial ships, which I thought looked really cool. And then like closer to the Boba Fett portrait we've got like all of the Mandalorian sets, like the N1 Starfighter and the Fang Fighter, and then we've also got the Mandalorian battle pack, and then we've got Shin Hati's Starfighter, which I thought looks pretty cool. So that's everything that's like on the very top of the Star Wars display. This hasn't really changed much because like it didn't really need to change. I was really happy with all the display choices, and we didn't really add a bunch of sets to it. But over here we've got my kind of Return of the Jedi display, which is one of my favorite displays in the entire collection. We've got the new Death Star duel from last year, and then we've also got the Endor speeder chase diorama from last year when they were doing the 40th anniversary Empire Strikes Back, 40th anniversary Return of the Jedi kind of celebration. We've got the 2021 Imperial shuttle in the background over there, and then of course we have like the big crown jewel of my LEGO collection, the Ewok Village, which I think perfectly kind of like finishes off this Endor display, and I'm really happy with that. That was always a lot of fun to admire, and that was like one of the funnest LEGO Star Wars sets I ever built. And then over here we've got some new additions, not much but definitely something of note. We've got my new Droid shelf, which has the Droideka at the very top of the printed display plaque. I love how they're starting to do that with the UCS sets. We've got the Chewbacca and R2-D2 art prints in the back over here, and then we've of course got the UCS R2-D2, which is one of my favorite LEGO Star Wars sets of all time right here. And then below we've got a really underrated set that not a lot of people appreciated, I feel like, which is the UCS BD1. Definitely a really cool set, very underrated in my opinion. And then we've also kind of got, you can see in the background over here, we've got my Star Wars posters with Return of the Jedi for the 40th anniversary, and then we've also got my Star Wars Rebels poster over here, which I thought looked pretty cool. And then speaking of posters, we've got my Season 7 of Clone Wars poster that I got back in 2020, so really cool parts of the collection. Also not LEGO related, but I thought I'd show off some of my Star Wars Funko Pops, which look pretty cool. So here's my entire collection. I kind of have them just sitting on top of my desk over here, and then I do have a bunch of like random Star Wars minifigures in here. I won't go into too much detail. I have gone into more detail in previous videos, but we've got like a very like kind of like just general selection of like extra Star Wars minifigures inside of there. Definitely a lot. And then I've also got this Bo-Katan helmet, which I feel like I don't really show off too much in videos. So here it is again. I still have it. I don't really have it on display though. And that is everything inside of the Star Wars collection. So it may not seem like a lot has changed in the Star Wars collection, but like I feel like when I look back a year ago on like how the Star Wars collection looked back then and how it looks right now, I feel like it's kind of crazy. A year ago, I didn't even have the UCS Millennium Falcon or like half of the UCS sets in my LEGO Star Wars collection. So it's really cool to kind of see how it's evolved over the past year. So much change has happened in literally less than a year. So I'm really happy with the LEGO Star Wars collection. It's in its most complete state I think it ever will be right now. So that is all for today. Definitely let me know what you thought of the Star Wars collection. What was your favorite part? Be sure to let me know down in the comments. Leave a like on the video if you did enjoy, and subscribe if you are new around here. But that is all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace out. Thanks for watching.